Hi, welcome to the Leadership During Crisis Online Summit series. Thank you for taking your time to watch these episodes. Please remember to subscribe at our YouTube channel. We will be releasing the episodes 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesday, Friday at 2 p.m.
Anda Krishnan is the Director of Talent and Operations at Crest Excellence Centre Sendiri Berhad. She is the Executive Committee member of National Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Malaysia in the PR and Special Projects Department. Andal is also the committee member of the International Association of Facilitators Malaysian chapter, and she has done extensive work in women empowerment both for employability and entrepreneurship. She is also a distinguished Toastmasters in Malaysia.
Andal, you are someone who has also been doing a lot of volunteer work to help these disenfranchised women. Are there things that your organization, NAWEM, is doing to help these women in their financial, the psychological, as well as their health?
Yes, I must tell you that NAWAM is not an organization that has got funds. We are much more project-oriented organization. Normally the funds come from outside and then we manage the funds. Currently, we are in the midst of doing an amazing project in terms of giving skills for them to get employment. However, because we cannot meet them and we cannot give them the training, and of course we cannot give them the employment, the whole thing has come to a grinding halt temporarily. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that by end of April, we can get it going again. And hopefully by end of June, they can get back to work if all the industries are back to work, because many of them will be in the hospitality industry. I hope that will happen. But what we are doing is we are skills providers. And so that has come to a situation where we cannot continue. However, we are trying to get them onto things like Zoom, at least to talk. We cannot do the skills because a lot of it is hands-on, but at least to talk and to let them know, look, we haven't abandoned you. And I'm doing it on WhatsApp phone calls and on WhatsApp video call. That seems to be less frightening for them. And you say Zoom, they get a bit like, what does that mean? So this is more friendly. You just have to press the video button and then there you see the face. So yes, much more in terms of psychological support, emotional support. We try and tell them, hang on and, I even wrote a short poem which I put in the Facebook. I said, don't worry, it's going to go away. Let's just hang on in.
There are many people and individuals, because of COVID-19, they may be forced out of a job. There are also many gig economy workers, both in Singapore, Malaysia, and in the region. So what are usually your 3 ways you go about helping someone? Or if I'm someone like that today, what would be your advice so that I'm able to pick myself up in order to move on?
Fantastic question. Not only you are in that situation, so am I. And so a lot of hundreds and thousands of women. And like I said, this COVID-19 did not care how much money you have in the bank. It just hit everybody. And everyone is a bit stunned. Sure, some people have more savings than others, so they can manage this a bit longer. And some may have just spent on a very important item for their training and suddenly find that this has happened. Well, anyway, this is beyond our control. So the 3 things that are very, very important is that, I don't know whether you've seen this wonderful thing that's going on the internet. It's called the zone of fear, zone of learning, and the zone of growth. And I think the first thing we will tell my peers, my colleagues, as well as others will be that first is to get a grip of this. Understand that this will not be forever, and have a philosophical view of this. It's easily said than done, but we really have to do that first. If our mind is not at rest, and if our emotions are not stable, we're going to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing. I'm most worried is that your immunity will go down and you become the target for COVID-19. So the philosophical part is very, very important because this is a bit beyond us. The next thing I'll say, and this is probably a bit on hindsight, But whatever skills we have, I hope it's multidimensional. So now I think we're really going to go back and look, what is it that I have right now that will just see me through at least 3 months before I can get back to my core business. So that's what I'll tell them to do. And I don't have such a comprehensive understanding of all the tools, but whatever tools I know online, I've quickly used it to get courses going. And the third one I want to say is that the sense of preparedness, I think, will now come forward. It will now come about for every one of us. What do we do in terms of crisis? We always think like a war, for example. The war can come in so many different pieces. So at the moment, the only thing I can tell people what to do is look at your treasure trove of skills, whatever you have, ensure that you can quickly convert it into something people can use right away. A friend of mine is a very good bread maker. The first thing that sells out in every supermarket is bread and eggs. So I've been telling her, just make batches and batches of bread, get Foodpanda or somebody, and you just give it to people. For people who are in the business of writing, this is a fantastic time. Like a friend of mine has just done pocket books, and pocket books can be really literally done one a day because we all have got so much of information. And of course, sell it for $1. $1, that's all. Don't sell for more than that. And imagine if about 10,000 people buy. That's a lot of money. So that's something we can do. And with all the tools that we have, it'll do the graphics for you. Make the graphics there and make whatever it is. And you know what? My friend said, people are willing to pay $1. What? How much can I lose? Even if I have 2 ideas from a book, that's worth it. So don't write big books. Just go into that. Now, if we sit in front of the computer for 2 or 3 hours in a day, we can get a book out.
So now you shared quite a bit about how you're preparing for the future in terms of online new economy. And I think you are also proactively speaking to your clients who may have basically delayed the projects to change. Could you share some of these and how you're preparing for the opportunities that will come?
So as I shared with you before the video, because there was some programs that could have happened, so what I wanted to salvage it, so I said, okay, how we do this online? Our programs are very face-to-face and there's a lot of interaction. So I had to make sure that I do not lose the robustness of the program, because if you're going to give a certification, you want to make sure that's really good. So I have converted, like for example, I was just sharing with you, like a 5-day program, which is almost 40 hours, how to convert the 40 hours into segments, maybe 50 or 40% of it in face-to-face, some on online, some webinars. So I've kind of divided in a lot of reading, where they will read and they will share using all the various platforms. But we have to be mindful, not all of us are very versatile with the tools that are available. So that would be sometimes a daunting thing for us. So what we do is use what you know, because everybody knows how to use an email, a WhatsApp, a Zoom, and some sort of online learning. So use whatever you can and make yours a hybrid program. It doesn't have to follow exactly what everybody does. It doesn't have to be in Udemy. It doesn't have to be what you get in Coursera. It could be your own. And I think this is where the personal touch comes in. And if you would keep the personal touch, then people will not miss the face-to-face, because for them, you're still there. So preparedness will be the most important part, the lesson learned, and also to be as creative as possible to salvage whatever you can.